Howdy, and welcome to Someone Should Know. I'm your host, Lydia Shock. Welcome back, everybody. Come on in. Episode 11. You guys, we've spent 11 weeks together so far. If you're just jumping in, hiya, we're happy to have you. We unpacked a lot in the first 10 episodes, and I'm curious which are your favorites. So go tell me on social media. I'll put a post out asking which has been your favorite so far. So go let me know which one has been your favorite and which one has impacted you the most so far. So today we're going to change pace just a little bit, and we're going to go a little personal. Maybe a little bit more personal than I'm particularly comfortable with, but all in the spirit of, paying it forward. I'm kind of chuckling to myself because I've been sitting here for, I don't know, probably 2 minutes in just utter silence with myself. Just because oh my gosh, I'm like, I don't even know how to start it. We're getting personal. We're getting a little, more personal than I'm typically comfortable with. But like I said, it's all in the spirit of paying it forward. And so, today I want to talk about how 11 years ago, I did not think that I would be where I am at today. 11 years ago, I didn't know if I was going to be here today at all. So let alone where I'm at and how proud and fulfilled I am with my life. I certainly didn't foresee that. So in this episode, I want to talk about the 11 things that I have learned in the 11 years since I didn't really want to be here anymore. I want to take just a quick second here to just re-acknowledge and reiterate that I am not a professional therapist. I'm not a professional mental health person in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, because a professional mental health person would not refer to themselves as such. I'm just a person, and this is my life and my experiences, and the whole reason I'm putting it out here is so hopefully it helps somebody somewhere out there from, making a tragic mistake. And so that's just a quick little acknowledgement is that I'm literally just a girl just surviving this world, just like the rest of you guys. And, if you are going through a hard time, if you love somebody that's going through a hard time, please seek professional help. So I wanted to do this. Funny because actually I originally had this idea last year when I was mulling around with wanting to do a podcast, and I was thinking about different episodes, and this was an idea where I was like, I could do 10 things I've learned in the 10 years. And that was last year, which was 2024. And this is this year, which is 2025, which would make it 11 years. And so that's why we're doing 11, is because I procrastinated on this podcast for so long. But for real, that is full transparency why we're doing 11 years. So it's a quote unquote anniversary. I don't really refer to it as an anniversary. In fact, I didn't really even know how many years until it hit 10 years. And I started, adding it up for the idea of, doing this podcast just because, anyways. So I mention this now, not so much as a quote unquote anniversary, because I don't, an anniversary is a good thing. Maybe so much more as a milestone that I hit every year of, just continuing to choose myself and to choose my life and to get better every year and every day. And so, so that's, kind of why I wanted to talk about this today, because mentally 11 years ago, man, I was hurt. I was confused. I was scared. I felt like I was locked in to this like version of life, this version of reality, and like this was how it was going to be forever. I was acting out again out of fear, out of anger, out of resentment. And a lot of this ultimately came down to like what I felt about myself and ultimately how unhappy I was with myself. And I was just too emotionally immature to like point the finger at myself and be like, I'm not trying to point fingers, man, but you're a problem. You're a real, real problem. And that is truly the first step, in my non-professional opinion. That is really the first step, is to like take a look at yourself, man, and like understand that you're the common denominator in your own life. Not to say that you may have not been handed a shit ass hand of cards or that some terrible shit might have happened to you. Absolutely, some people get more of a head start in life than others. That's absolutely true. But at some point, it is your life. It is your life. And that is truly the first step. And change and growth doesn't happen overnight. And we talk about that in last week's episode, that growth is slow. And I worked on this for years and years. When I say quote unquote, I worked on this, I worked on myself. I worked on my mental health. I worked on my emotional resilience. I worked on my mental strength. I worked on all of that for years before anybody had like really noticed that I had truly changed as a human being, which I have. If you knew me 11 years ago and you don't know me now, you don't know me. You don't know me. If you knew me in high school and you haven't spoken to me since, you don't know me. You don't know me. And I don't know you, man. I don't know you. Godspeed. Don't contact me. Okay. So yeah, like I said, change doesn't happen overnight. Growth doesn't happen overnight. And it has been 11 years since that time in my life. And I can truly sit here today and tell you that I'm a completely different person. I am a different human being and I'm better for it. And I've learned tips and tricks along the way. And that's what this entire podcast is. But today I want to share 11 what I think are like some of the main things, the main like quick tips that I would give to 11 years ago me. So today, someone should know these 11 things. Number 1, this too shall pass. I know it's a cliche, but it's a cliche because it's true. Because it's true. And just as we talked about moments ago, growth doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes neither does like the shit. Sometimes the shit doesn't change overnight. Sometimes it does take weeks, months, years. I crawled through my shit for years. A couple months of like thick diarrhea. Shawshanking it. Through thick diarrhea for months. But it passed. Every terrible thing that's ever happened to me, it passed. It will pass, I promise. Life is like the seasons. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big nature girl, and I really do find a lot of synchronicities between the earth and us and life. And just like the weather and seasons, none of it's permanent. that is something you can guarantee, is that it will not be summer forever. The winter will come. And it will not be winter forever. The spring is coming. And we talk about that a lot in episode 1. You have survived 100% of your worst days. And the best part about that, the best part is that you can now use that as data moving forward. When you are in what you now consider to be the worst days of your life, you can look back and say, I survived that and I will survive this too. You can use it as a metric of your strength and your resilience, because you know that this too shall pass. Number 2, you are responsible for your life. We talked in last week's episode how Mel Robbins says, no one's coming. No one's coming to save you. No one is coming. And instead of allowing that to leave you feeling hopeless, like, oh shit, no one's coming, allow that to empower you. Take resistance on the chin and say, okay, bitch. All right. You are responsible for your life. Again, you might not be responsible for the things that happened to you, but you are responsible for how you respond to them and how you move forward from those things. And so I wrote over here as a note, a suggestion for taking ownership of your life and being responsible for the way your life turns out is find resources that help you. Find podcasts, books, creators, people that inspire you, that help you look at life differently, that make you want to grow and be better. A few that I wrote down here, of course, Mel Robbins, we love her. Shallon Lester, I've mentioned Shallon in a couple videos prior to this. She's great. Love her. Angie Belmar is another really great creator. It's funny, kind of Shallon and Angie right next to each other like that, because they are polar opposite in terms of creators, but both like very inspirational and like very, very motivational. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for the life that you want to build. Take ownership of that. Number 3, choose your hard. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this one yet. Come back next week, episode 12, our season finale, where we're going to talk about all things choosing your hard. And that there is no escaping hard in life. There is no escaping it. Healing is hard. Staying stuck is hard. Only one choice leads you to feeling better. Come back next week, episode 12. We're going to talk about all things choose your hard. Number 4, therapy is fucking cool. Therapy is fucking cool. You should go to therapy. In like the most respectful way, you should go to therapy. For real. You should. Honestly, no, but really, it is okay to ask for help. And I think that, come on, it's 2025. It is really time to start destigmatizing therapy and start destigmatizing getting mental health help. You don't have to be as far gone as I was 11 years ago to seek help. In fact, I'll give you a perfect example of this. A couple years ago, I was dealing with a particularly challenging situation with a group of challenging people that I was, for more or less stuck with. I couldn't do anything about that situation that I was in at that time. And so I went back to therapy. As somebody who went to therapy for years prior to that and then took, a bit of a break there for a few years. It was clear to me in that moment that I did not have the tools and the resources that I needed to deal with the dynamic that was in front of me. So I went back to therapy. I sought help from somebody who knew more than I did. Isn't that what you do? If you break your leg, you're not like, let me go out into the garage and get some, duct tape and some Gorilla Glue and this thing's going to be back to normal in no time. It's fine, honey. No, you go to the damn doctor. You go to somebody who knows more about broken bones than you do, dumbass. Come on. No. I always like to think of therapy like a cookbook. If you were going to make escargot for the very first time, what's the first thing that you would do? You'd look up a recipe. You'd look it up. You wouldn't just go blindly into Tom Thumb and say, "Can I have some snails and some butter, please? I'm going to wing it." I mean, maybe you would. And I bet you anything it turns out like shit. I bet you it turns out like shit. It's rubbery ass snail. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to ask somebody what their recipe is on something. And I'll tell you what, I now have a metaphorical cookbook filled with some really amazing recipes that have helped me in some really sticky situations. So I don't know who needs to hear that today, but therapy is fucking cool and you should go. Number 5, keep your circle small. I know that it's cool when you're a teenager to be the person that has a million friends, but I'm telling you, if you are liked by all, you are loved by none. If you are liked by all, you are loved by none. And I would rather be loved by few than liked by many. And your tribe, your small little group of people that keep you going in this world, hear me when I say they're truly all that matters. I'm actually going to get emotional thinking about it because it's literally the only thing that matters. I can't tell you. It's the only thing. It's the only thing. Money and whatever else, accolades, your career, whatever. And fuck it. Fuck all of it. Your tribe, your 10 or maybe 15 people that are your rock, dude. I mean, what more could you ask for? What more could you ask for? And if you are currently in that phase of your life where you're fuck my family is the worst. And I'm not talking about you people that are about to be I came from a really bad, that's not who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the people that came from a truly terrible house. And I'm really sorry that happened to you. And I still stand by what I said, that your tribe is important and you need to go find your tribe and you need to be with that tribe. But I'm talking about the people that came from a good tribe and that tribe that truly loves you and you don't really want anything to do with that tribe for, one reason or another. I implore you to rethink that. If they're not truly, truly harmful to you and to your life. And I say this as somebody who could not stand my tribe 11 years ago. 11 years ago, I couldn't stand my tribe. Get the fuck out of my face. Go away from me. But me now wants to smack the shit out of that Lydia, being you dumbass. These people are the only people in the fucking world that care about you. They're the only people in the world that care about you. They are the only people in the world that care about you. And I cannot stress that enough. So if you are lucky enough to have a family that loves you and cares about you, I implore you to water that relationship. But at the end of the day, whatever your chosen tribe is, it is the quality of those people over the quantity. It is the quality of those people. You can have people around, sure, but your core people. That's if the apocalypse happens, I'm checking on these people. For me, there's 15 of them. Truly. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of you didn't make the list. I'm sorry. And I'll leave you with this on keeping your circle small, which is, again, something I wish 28-year-old Lydia was there to tell 16-year-old Lydia, but, that's all right. We're here now. I'll leave you with this. Not everyone deserves access to you. In fact, most people don't deserve access to you. We could do a whole video on that. We could do a whole set. We could probably do multiple different episodes on that. But not everybody deserves access to you. Number 6, healing isn't linear. I'll keep this section brief as we literally just talked about it in episode 10. Growth is slow. So if you haven't heard that episode yet, go check it out because we talk all things healing isn't linear. But remember, it is still progress. Backwards, forwards, 2 steps back, 1 step forward. It all still counts as progress. However, the caveat to that being, you actually have to keep going in order for it to be considered progress. Otherwise, it's just quitting. Number 7, you're allowed to reinvent yourself as many times as you need to. I love this one. I was so excited to write this one down when I was brainstorming this episode because, man, I love this one. You can reinvent yourself as many times as you want to. I've done it so many times. Not even just like, you can do it physically, which is fun too. Changing your hair, whatever, changing your style. Like, that's all really fun too. And I encourage you to do that as well. But like, you can like decide today, I don't want to do that anymore, and like work towards doing something different. Now, if you're like an accountant and you're like, I don't want to do accounting anymore, I don't recommend you be like, I quit and just like leave and start art. I wouldn't recommend it for stability purposes. But yeah, if you're an accountant and you want to be an artist, you can decide today, you know what, I'm going to start making little pieces. I'm going to start making little chips away at this goal of mine. I'm going to just start doing little art installments here and there on the weekends. And then maybe one day it would be able to pay for your bills. But if not, at least it filled your cup. At least it filled your soul. So I love this one. Reinvent yourself as many times as you need to. And Lord, have I taken advantage of that. I wrote down just a few here as I was just brainstorming. First of all, we went from being 16 and just a torment. Then when I first started college, I was in a pre-med program. Then I decided to switch my sophomore year and go into a film program. And I did film and acting all through my college. Loved it. Loved doing film. That's partly why I was prepared to do this podcast, is because I learned a bunch of this shit when I was in school. So I knew how to do a lot of this shit. Loved it. Then it wasn't totally my choice, but that's okay because again, life happens and we roll with it. Then I, moved into being like a corporate girly, and I'm doing like the corporate thing now. And now I'm a podcaster, and it's, you can reinvent yourself however many times you want to. It's your fucking life. It's your life. You can do whatever you want. That's the best part. You're the main character. So you can just decide today you want to be somebody different, and you can just be that person. I love this one. I think, because it gives you such freedom. Like, this one feels like an exhale. It just feels like, I'm not stuck as this person. I'm not stuck. I choose to be this person. And if I don't like it, I can fucking change it. I love it. Number 6, boring is beautiful. Okay, now hear me out. I don't mean boring as in like you should just let your life pass you by and not do the things that like you want to do. Again, we just talked about reinvention and doing things that fill your cup. What I mean by boring is beautiful is, I mean, stop self-sabotaging every time you get bored. Stop doing that. Every time you get bored in a relationship, you blow it up. Every time you get bored at a job, you blow it up. Every time you get bored in class, you blow it up. Stop doing that. Stability is peace. And I can understand how, like, if you come from a world of just like constant chaos and everything is all the time, I can understand how stability feels like uncomfy. But stability is peace. And that's what I mean when I say boring is beautiful. I mean, stability is serenity. Ah, I forgot that I wrote this down over here. This is such a good one. So this is a Jordan Peterson take, and he talks about how, like, the beauty of life is the everyday. The beauty of life is how you greet your spouse when they come in every day. The beauty of life is how you guys treat dinner. And if you have dinner together, or if you have dinner in front of the TV, not talking, and the beauty of life is how you choose to spend time with your kids and how engaged you are with them, and like these little moments, these little everyday moments, they are your life. And they make up your life, and what you choose to do with those moments and the beauty behind those moments, it is up to you. It is up to you. But like this, like, quote unquote, boring life is so beautiful, and I'm in love with mine. I'm in love with mine. Number 9, true confidence is quiet. Okay, and when I say quiet, I don't mean like, shh, quiet. Because, like, if you know me but at all, you know that I am not a quiet human being. I am a bull in a china shop kind of human being, and I've just learned to accept that about myself. But what I mean when I say true confidence is quiet, and this is something that Shallon talks about as well, Shallon Lester, I mentioned her earlier. It's that, like, joy doesn't always have to announce itself. And to be truly confident is this quiet knowing. It is this solemn understanding of who you are. And in that, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what anybody in that room thinks of you, what any of them have to say, because you know in your heart, in your soul, you know who you are. Like, that is like true confidence. It's not the most beautiful person in the room. It's not the most talented. It's not the smartest. It's just the person that has this quiet, solemn understanding of who they are. Number 10, none of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. This kind of goes back, honestly, to my tribe point, where it's like your tribe is the only thing that matters. Again, see that point. That's the only thing that matters. The rest of that shit doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I know it really does feel like it does matter in the moment. And to some extent, it does matter in the moment. If it's your job or it's your school or whatever, like, yeah, that all does matter. But like, at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of your things, it's not worth taking. Your life matters. You hear what I'm saying? It doesn't matter like that matters. The only thing that really matters in this life is your tribe. And I guarantee you, whatever work or school or whatever bullshit you found yourself in, that does not matter as much as you matter to them. And so that's what I mean when I say that shit doesn't matter. I mean, this too shall pass. That's what I mean. The opinions of others, timelines, expectations, none of it matters. None of it matters. Be okay with being misunderstood. Protect your peace. Which leads me to number 11. Stay. You were never broken. You were never broken. You were just hurting. And if this is you right now, you're not broken. You're just hurting, and this too shall pass. Stay. And I encourage you, if you are talking to or about yourself that way, if I'm broken or I'm this or I'm that, stop. Stop doing that. You are always whole. You are just hurting. And I'll leave you with this, which is like, you are the whole point. You are the whole point of your life. You're the whole point. You are the plot, sis. You are the plot. This is your life. This is your life, and you are the point. So, whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that's hurting, you can choose right now to stay, to be better than that, to know that this too shall pass, to lean on your tribe, to protect your peace, to find resources that help you. You can choose all of that right now, today. Choose today. Choose you. As we wrap it up here, I want to remind you that healing is not a destination. It is a journey. It is a lifelong journey. Healing is a relationship with yourself that deepens and enriches over time. So if you're in the thick of it right now, this episode is proof that things can change, that things will change. So before I leave you guys, I wanted to leave you with a small call to action, a small exercise for those interested. And I'll kind of give you a brief explanation of where this came from. If any of you guys have ever seen the show 13 Reasons Why, unfortunately, after that show aired, there was a kind of a trend, if you will, of people writing their 13 reasons why. And so I kind of wanted to flip that on its head here. And I want to know your 11 things. What are the 11 things that you've learned or you've gathered along your journey that if somebody asked you right now, hey man, like how do you keep going? What would you say to somebody who was struggling? What are your 11 things? These were mine. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Someone Should Know. There's only one episode left in season 1, and I hope to see you there. And remember, if you or someone you love is struggling with their mental health, please call 988 or seek a mental health professional in your area. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.
You're not